How do you do that?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Relationship Flow Sip and
You know
Chat.
what? We know we got a minute, and it ain't a warning. Just
I said
hey,
we're
hey, hey,
going
hey,
live.
Neil,
It's
Neil,
not my fault
Neil,
if you don't listen to
No, I
me.
think that
Neil.
it depends what Doc decides, Daryl.
I
I
said
don't know.
we
I
are
don't know
going
about this.
live.
We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work on this because there ain't no way. All of a sudden we talking, and then it's hey guys, we're here sipping chat.
Yes, you have
Yes,
to
Welcome.
be prepared to shift, right?
yes, that's right.
No,
That's
we
right.
had a whole minute. It's 8 o'clock now.
That
It just
just
turned
tell
eight.
that no, that means listen to me, Daryl.
I love
That's
it,
what
See,
Doc.
that means.
see
Listen
what I'm
to
talking about.
me.
See how things are out of order. That's
Don't
why things all messed up.
ignore
Assert it,
my
Doc. Assert it.
cries.
Assert it.
See,
I love
Yeah,
it.
see
don't
how things are out of
ignore my
order.
cries. I need attention. I need you to listen to me.
Hilarious, hilarious.
I'm listening, Doc. If nobody else is,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome.
This is nonsense. I gotta go through.
You're outnumbered.
so,
Get over it.
so Daryl, how was your week?
Good week. The weather was amazing. So, I mean, it's feeling great. You know, it's feeling really good to be warm out. Like jump right to summer. It just jumped to like 89 degrees. It's just crazy, but I love it.
Yes, yes.
But
That's what we do
good
in
week.
Philly. Mm-hmm.
Listen, 0 to 100.
Real quick.
Real.
What are you sipping on over there?
I got some green tea, a little green tea.
All right. Nice and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you loaded it down with sugar, but we know you wouldn't do that.
No.
No, we don't load it down. We actually add water.
Okay.
Do you put honey in it, Daryl?
No, I get it that way. Ginseng
okay.
with honey. So that's
Sounds
already,
good.
you know,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
definitely.
Yes, yes. How are you, Ruth?
I'm running. Thanks for asking, Doc. But I made it, and good week with the exception of pulling my knee out, doing too much. I think I was doing a little too much shimmy.
Okay. You got to slow down a little bit. Just a little bit.
Tad without stretching properly.
Yes, yes.
So I have my nice little pink knee brace when I'm working out this week.
Okay.
So it's healing well. So aside from that, now I'm picking out some spikes from Grandmom's garden. I was helping her with some gardening in the front, and I don't know what the cacti was that she had in there, but it's all in my wrist right now. So
Oh no.
but it's all good.
Okay.
Usually my weeks go differently. So
I see. It's always some adventure.
I was telling my husband, I said, I don't think she wants to ask how I'm doing this week.
And you're gonna sit here with spikes in your wrist. That just shows you the strength of women.
The dedication and strength,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We are
Yes.
strong.
You think men play through the pain? Come on, we play through the pain all the time.
Right arm, left knee, we ready to go. No faces, Daryl. No faces. No sound effects.
Right. Don't hate. Don't hate.
And how were you, Doc?
I'm okay. I had a good week as well. I had a fun week.
Oh.
You know, yeah, I got to do an interview with Patricia Marshall. She has a YouTube show called Dishing with Patricia. So that was exciting, going to her studio and talking with her about mental health and the things that I'm doing.
Nice.
It was really cool. Very, very cool. I was very nervous. So, you know, when you watch it, you might see I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
But overall, it was a good experience. Other than that, go ahead.
Did it air already, or is it going to air?
No, it airs next month. She's doing she's like a nutrition expert and a chef by trade. And she decided to take her platform during the month of May and talk about mental health issues.
Nice.
Right?
Very
important. Yes.
Very important.
Yes. Very important. So I thought that was really cool for her to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
And she interviewed several mental health professionals and talked about what they were doing and how how better to address the issues that are plaguing us right now. So it was really cool.
Nice. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I will let you guys know when it airs. And what are you sipping on, Neil?
Now you know to get that knee back in shape.
Yes, yes.
Got to keep it moving. So.
And I have some good old fashioned H2O today.
I have that too.
Can't beat it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's good. I'm glad we all had a great week.
Yes.
Yeah. So tonight we are talking about how to stay in love.
Woo-hoo.
The magic wears off. That was good, Daryl.
That was very good, actually.
Woo! How to get it?
One.
That was so good.
And we have, I would say that Ruth is an expert in this.
Where is she? Where? Where is she? She left the room. No expert over here.
I would think that you have some insights that some of us don't have because of the longevity that you have.
And about relying on those numbers.
Right.
Go ahead, Doc.
You have some
really
tested methods.
Overall, having a friendship with your husband and truly liking each other.
You're so right, though. You are so right about that. That friendship piece. Yes.
Right.
Thank goodness we still have that.
Yes, because some people are together for a very long time and you can tell that they don't really like each other. Seriously.
Right.
They may say, I still love him or her, but you can tell that they don't really like each other.
No. Or being around each other.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
They're spending so much time trying to stay apart, trying to stay away from each other.
Yes. I know some.
Yeah, so do I. I see it often. So it really takes all your skills in order to, be with somebody for a long time, truly like them, and truly, continuously work on your relationship and not just give up and say, all right, we just together.
Exactly.
Right.
And finding some sparks and interest after that. What's the time frame when it wears off? Usually a year to 7 years.
But they said the chemicals, the chemicals that introduce love usually wear off in like the first year and a half, 2 years.
Year and a half.
So now you're dealing with that person outside of the endorphins that was
exactly
that you were coming home, you were loving that person because you're all the stuff in you was telling you to. Now it's not really telling you to anymore. Them things and dulled out, and and now their chewing bothers you. Like, I can't believe.
Yes,
they got.
And they're breathing.
Right. I can't stand the way they walk. What is one leg shorter than the other? I can't believe I didn't notice this 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right. These things they in the study I was reading. That's when the nitpicking comes out. Things that maybe didn't really bother you because you were high, basically.
High
on the chemicals. Yes, biologically high. Yeah,
right. You were high.
That's a good way of putting it.
It is.
And now them drugs and wore off, and you can't get another hit of the first 2 years. You can't get that hit again. Eh?
Great description.
So now we can't go pick that up anywhere. So now it's like, what do you do to get that spark back? Let's start. Like, where do we start at? I would say we should start at just starting to listen to each other. Right? Too many times people are talking. Everybody wants to talk. Especially, I'm not going to say any specific gender who wants to talk all the time. Tell you these long stories would have no point. I'm not talking about anybody specific, but we should start listening to each other more, right? Start listening. And listening means actually hearing what the person is saying, and sometimes hearing what they're not saying. get back to those little things of hearing that what they say, like they maybe watch TV like, oh, I like that whatever it is, I like that cologne. You hear it? Go get it, right? Go get it for them. Hear little things, and I think that's where we should start.
Exactly, I like that. And if I might add, after that piece, the listening is very important. But the date your mate, too often what we do to get them, we don't keep in place. What happened to date your mate? Hanging out and enjoying each other's company, as Doc has said. Set up a time.
I think dating is still down the line, right?
Okay.
I think there's things you have to do before, because I don't like you, I don't want to date you.
Yeah, but if I do like you, I want to keep having a special, once a week with you.
Yeah, that's in the first 2 years. It's after that. I don't like you anymore enough.
Okay, I'm rushing the timeline.
Right. We got to get back to. So I think this is when all that stuff started falling off. That stuff you used to do because you used to get charged for it. You kind of are not doing it anymore. The humdrumness of life is kicked in. You start doing your schedule to work, gym, kids, home, whatever it is you do. It starts to become that nightly routine.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do you get back to the point where you want to date her? Because I really don't have time, because with the kids and work and everything else, how do we fit that in now?
Write it in. We have to write it.
Right. Yeah, so and I think that one, I think just the basic of understanding that just because you don't feel the butterflies or the tingles that you used to doesn't mean the relationship is over. A lot of people end their relationships because they don't feel that.
That's
anymore.
true.
Right.
Like, I must not love this person anymore because they don't do it for me.
Right.
That's true.
Right. So
that's true.
I think that's something we need to tell people going in. Like, you're not going to feel this way forever.
Right.
This is the training wheels part of it that's easy. The beginning, usually the feelings they come more easy because that's before that person let you down. That person didn't do something that you didn't like. That person talked your ear off for every time and don't listen to you. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Keep coming back to that.
But yeah,
this is the listening piece.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's kind of that easy part, and people love the easy part. People love that what they call that honeymoon stage is great.
Yes.
When everything is kind of like
Hey Trish.
Hey Trish. Where we dropping them off at?
Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you sipping on. But yeah, I think that just going into a relationship and knowing that it's not that I don't love you anymore, just because you don't make my stomach do flip-flops every time you walk into the room. That this is the realness. This is moving into the next phase of love with this person.
Yes.
If you're putting in the work
and finding other things that give you that butterfly feeling. It may not be just looking at that person initially at the moment, but what else is giving you ooh, I still love him or her? What is giving you that? Is it when you're rushing home like I was today, say, okay, please be ready with these bags, and please, I have all these spikes in my arm, and he has the alcohol out ready for me, and he's at the door waiting for the bags. I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was
all
in
right
love
with
with
the
that
green
too.
apple Smirnoff cooler. All right, Trish.
I gotta be a nurse. I know I want to be watching the game right now. But I gotta be a nurse.
This is how
that's part of listening. If your partner says, I'm on my way home and I got spikes in my arm, and you open up the door and she got to put the bags on her spiky arm because you don't take the bags from her. She got to run.
Where you go?
To the bathroom and
butterflies.
I'm glad she's getting butterflies. Anything else I can do for you?
Butterflies. Those are my butterflies.
Anything else I can do for you?
But you know what? Part of that, is knowing the kind of stuff that turns your mate on. You know, you being your mate's nurse might be the thing that give them the butterfly.
Yes, it does.
Well, I think even that may, what turns you on, the thing that may change. In the beginning, it might have been that, right? But after 2 years of them crackers, they just crackers now. They ain't rich no more. These are just regular old crackers, and the needles in your arm ain't doing it no more. So I need something else. Like the needles actually do the opposite now. They hell goes out and get needles in their arm. I don't know how.
You got to build up to these things, Daryl. We're not starting at that point. We're building up.
Yes, it's those simple things that you listen to over the years.
Yes,
they tell you if you have a partner that's always cold and all your gifts are like feet warmers and electric blankets and things like this. Like, oh, you know me.
Some iron pills. I'm trying to solve the problem. The blankets, you're iron, little baby.
Well, that too, though. That lets your partner know you're thinking about them.
Right.
No, it lets your partner know I'm damn tired of her being cold all the time. I'm tired of you shivering. We're gonna fix this problem. It's the little
things, Daryl. The little things.
That's not a little pill. A little pill can take care of that. I'm trying to take some things off the board that we don't have to deal with no more.
No, you're gonna have to deal.
Yes.
No, that's the reality. What people don't want to do is just what you said. You have to deal.
No, you don't have to do anything. First of all, don't say I have to do anything, okay?
If you love that person,
no. Wait.
Well,
let's be accountable somewhat. If you're always cold and we can fix it, how about we fix it? Don't make me jump through hoops through something that we can fix.
Spontaneity, stolen moments. Trish mentioned dating. Yes, you have to do all those things.
Thank you.
Keep it going.
Listen, first of all, we're gonna start being honest on this show. You talk about if everybody could do all them damn things, we wouldn't be talking about it. The problem is life gets in the way, and how do you get back on track to doing these things?
Yes.
And even at a certain point, I think how many times can you go to dinner, right? That becomes humdrum at a certain point. So I think you really have to reinvent yourself somewhat.
Yes.
You might have to find a new way to do it.
Yes.
Whatever it may be.
I
see how Ruth did it, where you had the whole little contraption out back, and we have dinner in it. No, but see that's me.
That's my love nest. That's my love nest back there.
Hey, we don't need to know all that. We don't know. We don't need to know what's going on. Hey, we're not even. Damn. Okay, listen. We don't need to know all about the love nest.
Hey, you're talking about my topic. I love it.
All right. I think that as we mature, our ways of being with each other need to mature as well. If I'm still doing things that I was kind of doing the first 2 years, that may not release the same endorphins anymore. I've been to the movie with you. We've been to dinner. How many times are we going to go here? Ruth Chris is cool, but how many times are we going to come here?
Oh, I love it.
So hey, who are you?
Hey. Let us know who you are.
So I think that we need to find ways.
You're right, Daryl.
It might be different ways to do that spark. So I don't want to tell people just date yourself like you've been doing.
Yes.
Because that's still doing the same thing you've been doing, and it may not do what it needs to do.
So when they say remind them why they fell in love with you, does that mean not going back and what you're saying, Daryl? Does that mean not going back to what you used to do or doing what you used to do in a different way?
So wait, we're gonna go left a little bit. Do you look like you looked when I met you? I mean, if you can't really remind me, so you better not think about reminding me if you can't really remind me. You know what I mean? If we 3 years in.
Wait. We are not going to look like we looked back then. Let's just start there.
Right.
We are not.
Well, some of us can. I mean,
no. Even if you're maintaining, you're not going to look like you looked back then.
I mean, listen. Hey, what are you going to say? I'm just saying. Don't say then because if you're talking about why I met you in the beginning, and I fell in love with you. it might be the way you looked. So you don't look the same, don't say that, because then I'm just putting it out there. It may not be like, don't go back to why I used to. No, how about, why do you love me now? Let's do some things now.
I would think you would. Well, I mean, no, I was gonna say I would
think about it.
As a person, you haven't changed that much, but that's not always
but
true.
You should, right? You should change. You should grow.
Change. So yes, that's not always.
And people do talk about that change being too much for some people.
Yes.
Right. You can grow apart.
Yep.
Right. That one person.
I mean, the
moves.
physical and the internal change. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. You can grow both ways, and then we're definitely gonna grow apart. But go back to Ruth. Like, you find different ways, because they didn't have a love nest like that before. That's something new that they matured to. That now that's giving us that new. Oh, we like that.
Yes,
you know
I agree with that.
And you can put the blinds up if you want, and everybody can see.
We sure do.
You can
Put them
close it
up. You got too many
so
neighbors.
You can do it. You can get. You understand? With blinds up or blinds down. To
but
me.
You're right. Yep. A different approach to it.
Right. And I think that'll help the love re-spark again, because you fell in love with that person in the beginning because it was new, it was exciting. And I think only kind of new and exciting things can keep you there. Or doing it a little different. It don't have to be totally new. Like I said, all you're doing is going in the backyard.
Yep.
Right? But we made it different.
That's it.
So I think that's it. It's like I said, the creativity, because I may not even want to, like I said, we may have grown. So the person I met, that we might have been younger. Like Ruth was 5 when they met, right?
Oh, so I was 8.
Nobody wants to go back to 5.
About 8.
I want to go back to 5. You know?
Well, you're right, Daryl, and it's a lot of work to actually think about those changes, think about the creativity, to talk to your mate and say, is this thing doing it for you anymore? I mean, we have some really frank conversations that people will be like, you say that to each other? We're trying to keep it going.
Yes.
Wow. So that, again, it goes back to, like you said, communication. If you can't talk about it with a person, you shouldn't be with them.
I agree.
I wholeheartedly think if you can't talk to your mate, spouse, or whatever about certain things that are personal or what you want or what you like, if you feel uncomfortable, then you don't need to be with that person yet.
Totally agree with you.
Right? There should be nothing you couldn't say to your partner. And the partner should know you're saying, like, listen, babe, it's not really hitting like it's hitting before. Don't be offended by it.
Right.
I'm just telling you that it's just, in the beginning it was different, you know, but now you're doing the same thing. You come in, 3 pumps, turn over, boom, I'm done, you go to sleep. I know what you're going to do. That man worked then, but now I'm going to need something different.
I like the sexy thing.
You know what I mean? And that's what we got to break the routine. And I think, know what I was thinking about, Doc, as you said it, we talk about go back to what made me fall in love with you. Well, I guess we can actually say that because it was the creativity, it was the thoughtfulness, it was. So if we look at it that way, it makes sense. Go back to being that person who found what I needed to make me be like, oh, again. You know, when you would do things that make me go, oh, like do that again.
Yes,
and I'm gonna do the same. It's not just one person. We're both gonna do it for each other.
Yep.
Right.
Keeping yourself up gracefully. I totally agree. We have to try to be the best versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yes. And often people let that go. You're right, Daryl. They say, oh, I have him now. I have her now. We've been together 20 years. That's not okay for me. That's
right. And I think what happens is, again, life gets involved, right? We get in and it goes. And before you know it, you look up and you're like, I'm definitely not the person I used to be, because I couldn't keep up with myself because I'm chasing the kids, I'm chasing the job, I'm helping this, and you look back like, oh my goodness, I put on 900 pounds. You know,
dang, not 900.
Not 900. Can we say 90?
Right, man, 900.
90, 900, same thing. Whatever it is. I'm just saying.
Good evening, Facebook user. It's been a while. Let us know who you are. What you sipping on?
Right. So I'm just saying, like, and it may not just, and it may not be just letting yourself go physically, just maybe even mentally, you might be checked out because you're doing so much. So you just mentally checked out.
Yes.
And your partner may not know or understand what you're going through, which means maybe you're not talking as much. Like, so everything starts to shut down, and that's what we got to kind of be aware of. And like Doc said, things are going to change. We're not always going to have these feelings of love so easy. I think that's really important. I never thought about that. You're not going to feel this love that you feel in the beginning, maybe 2 years down, 3 years down.
But, it just came to my mind because I've come across many people who, when you start talking to them about all the relationships they've been in and when they leave and why they leave, and a lot of times it's because they don't feel it anymore.
Right.
When if they would have just put in a little more work at that point, the relationship could have lasted longer.
I blame Disney.
And there's some milestone points for some folks when they do leave. I know I have several friends who, once the empty nest comes about, the kids are out, kids are gone, and you're sitting there looking at each other.
But Ruth, that started years ago.
Oh, right? I agree with that.
They've been done. It's just that now they don't have the buffer as far as the kids anymore.
Those
So that relationship been done. And that's the problem. They waited too long. Like, again, I blame Disney. That happily ever after. Once you get married, people, that's your goal, right? Yes. Your goal is to get married. A lot of people, not what I'm gonna do after I'm married or what it's gonna look like. I don't think marriage should be a goal, right? It's I can call it a benchmark, whatever you want to call it. But that relationship needs to exist with or without that paper or whatever the case may be, right? So I think that's the problem. That once we get married, we're married. Everything should be all right now. Everything will work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
it's a myth. It is a myth.
Right.
A big one.
I think people need to talk about the hard work in marriage. From my understanding, what I'm learning, it's a lot of hard work to be with someone. And you guys have to be ready for the hard work and to stand by somebody, their goodness, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever the case may be. And people aren't prepared for that. People want the good.
Yep. And the sickness and health and the financial stress. And yes, the list goes.
Yes, Facebook.
It's the wedding. Right. It's not even the marriage.
Not the marriage.
Nope.
For a lot of people, that is very true.
Right.
So they don't even talk about what's going to happen after we get married.
Right.
I see that all the time when I talk to people. There was no conversations about division of labor, where we're going to live. Are we going to buy a house? Are we going to live in an apartment? Just the simple kind of conversations that you have with a partner, people aren't having them before the marriage. It's just, when are we going to get married? And that's it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And that's what they talk about. When, where, who invite, what we're going to wear, who's going to be, but they don't talk about the things. What are the bills going to look like? How many kids do we want? I want 14. I didn't know that.
Right. I'll see you later.
This could be, but so these people.
And we talked before about talking about finances and stuff, because that is one of the biggest reasons couples break up. So all those conversations are so important before the wedding. Right.
And when I think when we say conversations, I don't mean we briefly touch it.
No.
We kind of talk about, we'll split bills. No. I think you guys really need to sit down, pull out your papers. So what you got? This is what I got. This is what you got. This is what I think we're going to spend. That all needs to be detailed out in the beginning so that when you do get married, you don't have any, like, you may have expected something. We expected it to be a certain way because this is the way I grew up. I thought it would be this way, but it's not, right? Yes. So you really have to have now, if you're afraid to share your income or what you make, then you shouldn't be with the person. Why are you talking about marriage? It's so funny. I hear people talking about marriage and stuff like that, but they hide in the whole life. The other person knows what they got. I can't tell them all that. I ain't giving them my password. Why are you talking about marrying this fool then?
And you're going to marry them.
It doesn't make sense.
They don't know anything about your family because you don't want to talk about that. You can't tell them about your upbringing.
And yet you're going to be one with this person, supposedly.
I can't tell them that. I don't want nobody to use it against me. Well, you shouldn't be with the person. Right. Because that person that you're going to be with, you should be able to tell everything. That's the person you want to be able to confide in. You want to be able to confide in that person that you're sitting next to.
Yes, about it.
But if you don't feel comfortable enough, then either you're not ready to be with them or you're not ready to be with anyone, like or whatever the case may be, because we have to be able to be, you have to be able to share whatever. You should hold most things back from your partner. You shouldn't have to hold it back. You shouldn't have to, keep it. And that's the problem.
And it is true. It is true, Facebook user, that if these discussions were held, a lot of people would not get married. It's very true.
Nope.
Right, absolutely. And that's like I said, because the goal is to be the wedding. I want to have the best wedding. I want to be somebody's wife or husband. That's the goal.
Yes. And it's something that needs to be talked about. And that is something that should be talked about over and over and over again.
Yep.
As things change in the relationship, as you get new jobs, as you change your priorities, like if you want to buy a house, you want to buy a new car. Those financial discussions have to be held,
and they have to keep
over and over again. Right. Yes,
because they're different phases to your life.
Yes, because they can contribute to the magic wearing off. Right. If you start saying things to yourself like, "I can't believe this frivolous so and so," or this person is a bum, or they don't really know how to handle money, or anything along those lines. If you think those things about your partner, then it could interfere in your relationship.
Absolutely.
And most likely will.
So, yes. So those discussions have to be held to change those ways of thinking to bring the sparks back.
If my stomach is growling because we ain't got no food in the refrigerator, that's gonna be a problem. Might not work.
Yeah, I mean we're chuckling, but that's true. Right. Something that small could affect it.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're not willing or okay with sharing what your finances look like, then you don't need to be with them.
No.
Right? And for the most part, I mean, I guess some people could, but I think you need to be okay and be upfront with what's going on. I mean, if you're going to marry somebody, you need to know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
If something happens to that person, you need to know what's going on. You need to know the passwords. You need to know where it's going.
You do.
Need to know. We both need to know all these things because you never know what's going to happen.
No, you
don't know. So
and this is not like back in I don't know what the 50s, where if the husband died, the wife had no idea about anything. Couldn't write a check. Don't know anything about the finances of the household.
Nothing about his family across the.
But that brings up
3 blocks away. His other family 3 blocks away.
There are people that today don't know what their mates have going on. They financially they really don't. Or if they pass away, like I have a couple of friends that, God forbid, if their husbands leave this earth, they are in a lurch. They don't know what's happening any which way with finance.
What's the lurch?
They're in a bind. They're in a situation.
Don't be bringing these big words out.
Well, no, you know what, Daryl? That's an old word. That's like
that is an old word.
That shows my age.
I knew what she meant.
That shows my age.
How do you spell that?
They're in a situation, let's say, because they have properties, they have finances and money, and if he leaves this earth, she said, I don't know even where to start.
And that's terrible because you wouldn't know where to collect from certain things.
Right.
Certain things might just
be out there. The state's going to get it. The state's going to collect it because nobody else knows.
That's what I mean.
And it's horrible. And I said, you need to get that in order.
See? And they don't have that communication where she feels comfortable talking about it.
They don't.
It seems
but they have that understanding that he's the head of the household. He needs to take care of the finances. She doesn't need to be involved in that. So there's something else going on with that piece.
I get it. And I mean, everybody has. Headship means something different to everyone.
Yes.
But even in headship, I think we have to be smart ship because, like I said, if something happens to his ship, then she's going to be up the creek with no ship. Okay.
That was good. I like that.
You know what I mean? And that's where it doesn't make sense. My question.
How do couples start the conversation?
Question.
Let me go first. I say it all the time.
Go ahead, Daryl.
What I would say is that if you're a couple and you're asking how to start a conversation, it's too late. That conversation should have been. You should be able to talk in the beginning. You start talking to each other in the beginning, right? As soon as you meet each other, you should be asking serious questions, like things that you need to know. So you're already opening that line of communication in the beginning. Instead of having this, this idle chit chat in the beginning, you should really be. If you're dating with a purpose, and this is the person that you're thinking maybe more, you need to start talking about things early and make that a habit in a relationship. Make it a
That's a good
condition
point.
that you're used to talking. Then you don't have to worry about trying to do it in a relationship, because if you're already in a relationship, it's kind of, that means you already established some type of culture, and it may be a little harder to start talking now because you haven't did it before. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
But if it's hard and you want to stay together, how do you do it?
Call Doc.
That's a hard one because, again, like Daryl said,
call Doc.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We can just call her.
You
But
might need help. Yeah,
like
you might
Daryl
need
saying,
help.
it hasn't always been at the forefront of your relationship, and
Right.
so it's going to either the other person's going to be a little defensive, or
Right.
they're going to think it's out of character for you, or
Right.
both. Like in this situation with my friend, she said, I'd like to bring it up, but he's going to get defensive and wonder why now, and why do I want to talk about it? Am I waiting for him to die? I'm like, wow. This should have been handled at the door, like you're saying, Daryl, before we bought the 8th property.
Right. It gets very difficult to do something
hard. Yep.
in the 9th inning, right? And like I said, at that point, say if it is something where you're getting help and you want to talk more, you just got to try to do it, but understand it may come with a lot of defensiveness from the other person. It may come
she's
with
too
a lot
afraid.
of,
she's afraid.
What are you doing? Like, what's this about? They may make it more about them than just about the relationship, and understand that could be a problem. But even at that point, if you're growing, you have to try as best you can. And if it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, then you have some options: get help or you leave.
She's too afraid. Yeah, too afraid.
And that's crazy, because you're saying you're afraid to do something.
She said so.
That's something else, right?
I agree.
You shouldn't be afraid to do anything except come home from the side joint's house. You could be afraid to do that.
That you should be
but
afraid of. Yes.
Outside of that, in your relationship, there's not much you should be afraid of, right?
I would think, but
I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with someone I'm afraid of saying something. Because you should be able to say how you feel, and I'm not talking about disrespecting someone, but say how you feel, and they should understand. Okay, that's how you feel. I may not agree how you feel. I see it this way, and we should be able to talk about it. But I don't know about being afraid of someone.
Yep, that's the word she used. So, yep.
Oh,
and I think that if this is not the culture of the relationship, and there's some fear or some apprehension, I think the best place to start is on a positive note. Like, babe, I love you, but there are some things that I'm seeing in our relationship, and I think we need to talk about them.
So that's gonna work.
It does. It does.
You say, babe, you butter me up and say, but.
But it
with some couples it'll work.
With some couples it works because it takes the defensiveness out of it. If you're coming from a place of these I kind of statements, I want us to be better. I want the relationship to be good for both of us. I feel like there are some things we can do so that
that's different than what you said at the beginning. That's different than your little butt statement you made when you said, but, babe, everything is great, but no. Yeah, so now I agree. Now, if you start doing the I statements there, I feel like, it might be beneficial for, me to kind of know things going on, just in case something happens. We never know. Look, we just lost Artie the other day. He was young. He just fell out. We didn't know Artie was going to go.
I'm not trying to kill you off.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a benefit for both of us. Right.
With this particular couple, you would think they would get to that point after the guy in the marriage fell off a scaffold.
Oh gosh.
And she wasn't sure if he was going to be okay. And I said, here we go. That's why you should be handling your communication.
Ruth.
Thank goodness he was okay shortly after.
But you would think that would
were they married since the age of 5 too?
They've been married for 30 years.
But you would think that
right.
would make him want to do something differently too.
No, think about it. If they've been married 30 years at this point,
30 years.
Then they're still in a whole different time, right? They're actually living from a different time.
Yeah,
I know that, but what I'm saying is, after you fall off a scaffold,
yes,
having an experience like that, you would think that you would say to yourself, dang, if I had died, she'd be messed up.
No,
Why would you think that, right?
he didn't
Because
come to
again, his
I see. He
mindset
didn't come to
is
that conclusion.
his mindset's a lot. His mindset's a lot different. It's a different mindset. And then he's like, "Well, I'm still here. I got it."
he did. You're
So
right.
I'm not thinking about my mortality. Though I'm thinking about I'm Superman. I fell off a scalpel, I'm still here. I got this. I ain't going nowhere.
He is a
Right?
Superman.
Because if you would, in his mind, I believe if he admits that, if you start saying things like, "Well, let me just in case," now you're kind of showing chinks in armor. Now you feel like, you know, I'm putting myself in a casket right now. I'm just.
That's a real man way of thinking.
Yeah, he's got that. Yeah.
Well, yes, because if you already said how his household is run, it's
Yes,
already
it is
run
run
like
that
very 1940s, like, you know, where I'm gonna do everything and I got it, and you just sit there. That mindset is already there. So that's why I'm seeing that maybe his way of thinking doesn't even allow him to see anything different. Right? He doesn't. It seems like he doesn't see anything
Good
different.
point.
So how does
That's a
she
good
start
point.
that conversation then? How does she get him to see it?
So will she, after 30 years of
I
being
know.
this way? That's going to take a lot of work to change that. Doc, ask Doc.
Yeah,
How many
Doc.
sessions do you think you need for that?
No. How does she?
She would need she would need someone else in there.
Right,
She
right.
would.
Yeah.
She would need somebody else in there. And even with someone else in there, he may not see it because he might think you know you're ganging up on him. You're trying to change the way that he does things. And you know, you don't know what's best for his family.
Nope. Right.
And that's and it is where it is. Yep.
I mean, it's worked this long, right?
Well, let's say this about long-term marriages. It appears to work. That's
so no, remember, it does work for them.
Well,
just
it
because
appears
we don't like. Are they still together? Right. Again, if they're
they
barometer,
are,
if
but
we're still
again,
together,
he's asking, you know,
yeah,
how
she's
do I do
not.
this? So
she's not
no,
happy.
I'm talking about him, right?
Oh, he's
I'm saying that he doesn't know, especially because she's not telling him.
Yes.
So by her not being honest and having that open conversation,
yes,
I'm good, you're good, we're good. You don't need to know nothing.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in his mind, I'm good.
Yeah,
that's why he'd be very defensive if she started asking questions, because really you're saying this whole relationship is a fraud. There's something wrong with the whole relationship. That's how he may take it.
Oh, he will.
I've been doing everything all this time, and I've been holding it down, and you got the nerve to ask me questions?
Which is why she doesn't ask, but she brings it up in our conversations. Yes.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it is interesting.
But again, it's one of them things, and again, you make your bed, you lie in it, right? And that's what happened. Ooh, okay. Somebody read that aloud? It's a lot.
No, this is the story about the soccer player whose mother has all his assets.
Oh,
yeah, I seen that today. Yeah, the woman thought she was gonna get something. Got nothing. He had nothing.
Yes. Smart boy.
There you go. There you go. That's how you do it. Because these women are vicious. These women are vicious.
Now, should that happen?
More than half.
Let's look at that. Should that happen?
Yes, it should happen. Why should it not?
Then are you really trusting your mate?
Obviously, he didn't, and he did it for good reasons. Because look what she did. So,
and from one thing that I read, it said that his finances have been this way for a long time.
Okay.
So he didn't do it just when he got married.
Okay.
So you married him knowing this.
Oh, that's different.
No. I thought it said it did it after they got married.
Well, the thing that I read said that he's had his finances like this for a long time.
Right. He did it for a while, but I thought it was after they kind of got together. He knew what he was doing, right?
Okay.
Because listen, if you're with me, you're going to benefit. But if you decide to leave, bye-bye, you get nothing, right? So that's, again, there's nothing wrong with what he did, because he said, listen, if you're with me, you're good. You benefited because the money was still coming. It was on his mom's name, but he had access to money. Right. They were living a great lifestyle. It's only when you leave and you talk about you want more than half. She wanted more than half.
Oh, that's right.
Said, Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Here's half of zero. I can't do math, but you can have half of nothing. So yes, Ruth, what he did is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Absolutely fine. You know, now I wonder what contingency plans he had in. Because what if something happened to his mom? Then what happened? That was my question. You know, does it come back to you then? But I don't think there's anything wrong with the way he did things, because it kept it safe. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm going to marry you. She was pretty and everything.
And they weren't married that long, right?
I don't know. I didn't read all that. I just know he got her. I know he got her. That's what I know.
They were married that long.
What is your dad said he got her?
Gotcha, bitch. No, really, she got herself.
That was a
She got herself because she wanted a divorce, and there was nothing there, you know, for her to take. So good luck. Come in with you come in the same way you came in. You leave to come away the same way you came in.
The same way you came in.
Nothing.
Bye-bye.
If you're marrying someone because they have money or to get their money, my position is I don't care if you don't get anything. Because if that's your purpose, then well on you if you get nothing.
Especially if you weren't there to help create it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you just jumped in after I'm successful, I don't believe I really owe you much.
And did they have children now? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I don't know.
I didn't hear
know. Gotcha. That's all I know. Gotcha. So I'm not really sure. But
I wonder about children.
They hope they stay with dad. That's where the money is. So I mean,
right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Poppy.
Yeah,
Mommy, I'm gonna stay with Poppy. I'm gonna stay with Poppy, Mommy. Because other than that. So again.
Wow. So I wonder if she knew this, would she have stayed with him? Just to have access to the money?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not.
I don't think she knew. Well, I think she knew this. She wouldn't have left, or maybe she wouldn't have got married in the beginning if it happened before, like you said. Maybe she wouldn't have got married in the beginning. But again, that tells you everything you need to know about that person, if that was the case, right? If you're like, well, I don't have access to the money, I don't want to marry you. Cool. I know what I need to know. So that shouldn't even be a selling point. Well, no, I need to have this much. If you're already talking about breaking up, prenups and all that, I'm not with them, right? If you're already talking about breaking up in the beginning, well, we don't need to be together. To me,
you're anti-prenup.
Absolutely. You can't. I don't think you can have an
agreement.
To break up.
Okay, so they do. They have two sons.
Okay,
and they began dating in 2018, got married in 2020, and they have two sons. And she filed for divorce last month.
Now I wonder, is there a reason? Was it like did he have any foul play, or was it just like, hey, I'm done?
Yeah.
I wonder that, because if he was out here exercising his options, then I have an issue with him, because you were doing that knowing that if you got caught, if you left, you would still be good. You were covered.
Oh yeah.
So that is a problem in itself as well. If he did it, if he was out here doing these, in the streets and knowing it, well, if you leave, you don't get anything. So that would be a problem.
I wonder.
Well. So they didn't say anything like that. I didn't see anything like that. But if that was, that would be terrible.
And people are saying, well, she sacrificed 2 years of her life.
Oh my!
A whole 2 years?
2 whole years? 2 whole years?
Wait a minute.
2 whole years.
How do you sacrifice? I think he's a handsome man. He's the number one. I think it's the number one football player, and the highest paid, or something like that. You are on a come up. You were living a life that you weren't living before. So I can't say you sacrificed anything. And even then, your stardom from just knowing him, being close to him, other people know you.
I mean, I think that if they find a way to make that work, I don't know about more people doing it, but I think some people will try it.
Well, first, I would say African American women need to get married first, because 1 out of 4, we got to do something with them numbers, right? So before we talk about that, we got to figure out how we can have relationships that are actually, making it to marriage, right? Because with the numbers being so, what is going on? And we have to learn how to talk to each other, how to, what is our end game? Is it just a date? What are we looking for? Is the work, whatever it is.
I was going to say, I think that part of it is what we're talking about.
Yep.
You know, because this isn't even just about marriage. Sometimes when you're in these relationships 2 years, 3 years, and you feel like it's fizzling out, you move on to something else. You move on to somebody that's giving you butterflies.
Yes.
But then again, so now that's still you know, a you problem. Like you are addicted to the honeymoon. You're addicted to the butterflies, right? And like I said, as soon as those butterflies are gone, you're gone. Because like I said, like you said earlier, I feel like I don't love you anymore. Well, you got to work to love me. You got to work to stay with me. Right? It's not going to just be easy. In the beginning, it was easy because we were doing things that were a lot different. We're going out, we're having fun. After a while, we can't go out as much because we do have to work.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
We do have other things we have to do. Other things come up. So it changes a little bit at a certain point.
Yes.
And we have to figure out how to get past. And that's where I was like, Doc, you're exactly right. How do we get past the honeymoon phase to make it go to the next phase of the relationship? You know, before the marriage or engagement, but after the honeymoon phase, that's where people are stalling out. Like you said, as soon as I feel like, I don't really like you as much anymore. These dates aren't giving me the butterflies anymore. I'm not hearing the music. I'm not hearing that anymore. So we must be done. We must be done.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
yes. And you get to the point where the only time you feel those chemical releases is during sex, unless the sex becomes something where
old crackers.
You're not, Yeah, same. Yeah.
The crackers.
Come on, let's not eat.
Feeling those things as well. I mean, the chemicals still get released when you have sex, but you know,
they do. They dull themselves, just like the relationship.
Daryl, yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to let you know. Don't think them crackers ain't hitting like they was hitting when they was Ritz in the beginning. Don't think.
Wait, you're saying long term the crackers are not hitting the same?
No, they ain't hitting the same. Do you think they're hitting the same? No.
That's a matter of opinion.
No, it ain't no opinion. Ain't no opinion. We can lie to you if you want. Them crackers is not the same. But I mean, it's the same way. It's the same way for the pickle. After you're doing the same things, right? If you're not introducing anything new, then it's going to be the same, right? You got to, because we kind of get into a groove. We kind of get into she liked this in the beginning. I know this made her, this got her off in the beginning, so I'm gonna continue to do that.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
That's
and
interesting.
3 years in, you've been doing the same thing, and I'm acting like it now. I'm just, it worked, and it's not really.
I agree.
And then the person at your job is telling you how beautiful you are, and
you understand me?
You walk into work and they like, sexy girl, oh my God.
And they're laughing at every word that comes out of your mouth.
And then what happens? It's back.
And you walk in the door at home and it's like, what's for dinner?
Right.
Did you do the laundry?
Well, why you got dinner? That's true.
Like, what?
That's true. Very different. Very true, Doc. It switches.
What's for dinner?
Yes.
Right. And that's what really what happens. And especially today when you have people in your inboxes all day long. So as soon as he does something or she does something you don't like, you have that other person in the inbox telling you, oh girl, what are you saying? Like whatever you're saying, whatever you need, they're affirming you. Yeah. They're affirming you in any way they can to get what they want out of you. And you might fall for it. Mm-hmm. That becomes the problem. Because you have so many people telling you, so why am I stay with you when I don't hear the music anymore, but this person's telling me all the things that you should tell me in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So the endorphins are being released here, but they're not being released here. But it's false. Because you're going to do the same thing with this person.
It's going to same.
How many honeymoons?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Same thing.
Exactly.
Right.
If the relationship progresses in any way, you're going to be doing, you're right, the exact same stuff with that person.
Exact same thing. Because you're stuck at that point. You're stuck in that I'm addicted.
Yep.
We got to say it. We need an addiction for this. Addicted to the honeymoon. You know what I mean?
Yes, all those things, Cam.
Yep.
All those unsexy things.
Unsexy. But then after you go through that list, you got to get back to sexy. We can make that work.
Well, Ruth, I think that The problem is mentally you're not there anymore. You checked out. So it's very difficult to make what's for dinner sexy. but think about Ruth. Nobody knows they checked out until they're already checked out. Right? You kind of are teetering, and then it's out. It's not like you kind of realize it. Once you realize it, you've been going through it probably. But once you realize, usually I'm out. I'm fed up. And then
maybe
I'm
not
talking to you.
Checked out, but maybe you're aware that this doesn't feel as butterfly like.
I think for women, I think women usually know longer.
I think so.
That the relationship is over or that they're leaving the relationship. They spend a lot more time preparing
to leave.
That when they say it's over, the man is like, "What? What happened?" But it's been over for her for months.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
What happened is just because we think we have to say it. We don't really care. We knew it was over too.
Really?
We knew it was over too.
Did you?
Yeah, because the joint of the street around the corner that you didn't know about. Yeah, we knew it, but we got to act like what?
Okay.
You want to break up? And sometimes, it's the convenience of you that keeps us saying that too. Because we're used to having you around, cleaning the house, doing the things you do, right? The girl on the corner, I'm not sure if she's gonna do that. I know you'll do it.
Wow.
So now I got to do what I got to do. I got to put the show on to make sure you stay because I need somebody to wash these clothes. They ain't gonna wash themselves.
Wow.
Somebody gotta cook this dinner.
All I can say is wow to that.
Somebody will cook their dinner. Hey, don't act like you don't know this happened. Well, Ruth, I don't know, is 7 years old. You don't know. But
what do I know?
some things are what they are.
Different day and time, like you said.
But yeah, I agree. We check out, but then it's funny. People check out, but they're still stay together due to no intimacy. There you go. People are checked out, but they stay together again because of.
But Daryl,
You're right. It's a lot of times it's convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. It's what I know. I'm conditioned to this.
But I was saying that people acknowledge just before that checkout that something's different, something's off, and I want to regain it. That's what I'm speaking from. For instance, right?
I think, but our emotional intelligence is not there. Again, we talk about this all the time, so maybe we have more, we can kind of decipher it better. We can decipher the code. But most people don't know. You don't know really what's going on. You just know it feels different. And then you start to substitute things to try to fill in the hole. So I'm going to stay at work later. I'm going to come home and sit in the car for an hour before I go in the house because I know if I sit in the hour, then I come home, I'm going to have an hour, we'll go to sleep. So I have to talk to you for 2 hours. Like we start doing things, we start avoiding each other because we don't have the emotional intelligence sometimes to understand exactly what's going on, but we know something's going on and we try to fix ourselves. We try to make ourselves happy by adding other things. And usually it's the girl or guy at work. It's the gym, it's Facebook, it's whatever you can you can do to fill those holes, that gap, to keep you going on to the next day. So you're surviving at that point. You're just trying to get to the next day by any means possible.
But maybe that energy can be used to rekindle your own situation, is what I'm saying. You can bring back your sparks. You can pay attention to what she's saying again.
If you had that knowledge, you wouldn't be in a position in the first place. We wouldn't have this show if you had this knowledge. So what I'm saying is that most people don't have this. Think about how long did it take for you to get there? You went through a lot and was able to stand. You stood with that person to build a relationship to get there.
A lot.
Most people are not standing because that first argument, that first real issue, I'm out. I don't need this. You know how many people want me? I can go get somebody else right now. I don't need to deal with you and your monkey stuff.
To the left.
You understand me?
That's exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's what happens. People love.
Yeah, that is what happens, unfortunately.
And you know what's funny? Even a lot of these relationship shows, these dating shows you see on TV, they do exactly that. They put these people, you'll get together, 90 Day Fiance, whatever it is. You get together and they put you on these extravagant trips and they pay for everything and everything is great. And then when you get to real life, like, we ain't flying around no more. I don't really like you. Like, we had a whole bunch of other stuff that was interceding that made it feel like it was better. It made it feel great because how many times do you fly around the world and you go on these blue beaches and you're doing real life ain't that.
That's true.
So now you come crashing down to reality.
Yes.
The honeymoon phase was so great.
You're right.
On the show, but now, do you want to keep the person? Yeah, I think I'm going to move on. I'm not going to do it. I mean, they're a nice person and all, but I don't think they're for me. But you guys, for 6 weeks, we're doing every and anything, living like a couple. But now you can't. But that's what life is looking like. You're right. Now.
That real life, everyday, mundane. Like. Most cannot handle it. They cannot.
No. Right. And I do agree with you, Neil, when you say that, you might not have the emotional intelligence to talk about what's happening, but if it feels off, then start the conversation.
Yes, that's all I'm saying.
If it starts to feel off,
start the convo. That's all I'm saying.
If your mate is chewing and you're like, I can't stand the way they chew, babe. Yes. I can't. The way you're chewing today is really irking my nerves.
Yes. Yes.
What are we talking again? If you had that thought process, we wouldn't be here, right?
But that's what we're saying. This is what you need to do.
This is what you need to get to.
Well, okay, right. So say it that way. Say, listen, we need to start. When you start feeling weird, try to figure out what that is. Try to make words.
Yes.
Because once again, we're still talking about. Well, let's start talking again. You guys should have been talking, right? You got there because you weren't talking. Yes, so again, if we start talking in the beginning about everything, then it's easier to come to you when you already know we talk about everything. Easy for me to say, hey, look, man, something's wrong, something's off. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's me. It's easier to have a conversation when you already talked about it. Then now you come out of the blue like, something wrong. What you mean something wrong? Who is it? I ain't messing with nobody. What you hear?
Oh, guilty.
Oh, guilty. Oh, guilty.
Who said something to you? It's a lie.
Which is why we renewed our vows at a certain point.
Okay. Right.
This is the getting to I'm talking about. Okay. Things weren't bad, but things had changed a little. This is what we're talking about. Like, are we paying as much attention to each other? The kids are older. They don't need us as much. So that is out of the way. Now it's like focus time again.
So I have a question.
Yes.
What did you do before you renewed your vows to get to renewing your vows?
We went to therapy.
Okay. So that's what you did.
We went to
your
therapy.
Vows was really the
it was sort of the icing on the cake, if you
right. It was the payoff for you guys putting in the work.
Yes.
Right. Because we don't want to think renewing your vows. That's no different than
no. That's just a ceremony. That's true. That's just
right.
A ceremony.
So, but what really happened was you guys got real with each other. You talked to each other and said we need something, and you went and got help. So that's what they need to hear.
We renewed at the 20th because we had been together 2 decades, and we were like, wait. My butterflies are not fluttering.
Right. But to get to that renewal, you had to talk about it.
Yes.
There was an action now in place because something's going on. Now the action was we're going to get help.
Yes, we did.
We got help. Then we utilized the things we learned, the skills we learned, and that got us to
and
the
it was
ceremony.
For this latter phase of, again, empty nesting. Do I want to be with this person? It was really a reevaluation of where we were.
Right. Okay. But look at everybody. Look at what took place to get to the ceremony. Right.
Yeah, it wasn't just
there was a lot that happened to get. It wasn't like, you know what? Yeah, let's just renew our vows and we're going to
and everything's going to be fine.
Right. We're going to rededicate to ourselves. We're going to rededicate and we're going to be good. No,
we knew that.
The work. The more people need to hear about the work. And that's why, Ruth, you are an expert right now because the work you put in is what people need to hear and learn about. Like, it was real work.
And we went to therapy and got help. That's
right. And you were together 10 years at that point, you said?
20.
Oh, you were together. So 20 years and they still had to now come back and say, how do we make this work again?
Because we wanted to make sure we wanted to spend God's will the next 20 together.
Right.
Yes.
You sound like Rihanna. Work. I'm telling you.
No, but that's true. You have to reevaluate at these different points, is what Doc said.
Right.
People don't often do it. They're like, oh, we've got 20 in. We'll make 20 more. We good. But how are you going to do it? How are you going to make it?
People don't know. Like I said, we're using the wrong barometer. Like I said, the barometer sometimes is time. We've been together 20 years. We know what we're doing.
That's not good enough.
We don't need help. Girl, I've been doing the same thing for 20 years and you love it. I don't. If somebody really asks, I don't.
I don't.
I've been trying to keep you happy.
It's going through the motions, right?
But me keeping you happy, I'm sacrificing my happiness.
That's right. And I wasn't willing to do that, Carol.
Yeah, I'm allowing you to think this 20 years
I wasn't willing to do
something.
that. Going through the motions of marriage.
You know what? And that, there you go. Drop that knowledge. Going through the motions of marriage. We don't want to go through the motions.
The motions
right?
of marriage.
Because now that means, to me, when I hear going through the motions, means I'm sacrificing something to make someone else feel better because I'm not even here.
Or you're settling on some level because you're not that
I'm an autopilot.
20 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
I wasn't that little girl that got married 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. Right.
And he wasn't that young boy. So let's see if we can get together on a different level.
Needs change. What I expect change. Things may be different. Understand, that's what I'm learning too. Relationships will change and they may change drastically.
Yes.
What I may have liked, like I said, at 20, I don't like it 40.
Nope. Nope.
You know what I mean? I don't like it 40. I had that too much. I'm done with that. Okay.
Or not enough.
With that.
Whatever.
Hey,
Right.
the way you hold my leg like this, I know you like holding my leg like this. I don't like it no more. I hate my leg. I hate when you touch my leg. When you touch my leg, it makes me sick. Drives me up. So do something else.
It's work. That work is right.
Right. Very interesting.
That's if you don't want to go through motions. Some people are willing to go through the motions. So
Yes. Yeah. Many people are willing to go through the motions.
When you put in the work, do you marry the process, divorce the result?
Wait, why would you divorce the results?
Yeah. Marrying the
results of the work.
What
right?
if the outcome wasn't?
The outcome was undesirable.
That could have happened. That could have happened. That could have easily happened. Yep. But again, like Daryl was saying, because we put in that expert, that we got help outside of ourselves to see if we were at a good place with it.
Well, but that's the thing. Like I said, if you came to a conclusion and seeing like, you know what, this isn't working, we are different. Then sometimes you may have to go apart. But the point is, you put the time and effort in to see where you're at, and you're not just existing. You're actually physically going forth and trying to see, what is this? Where can we go? We might be better as friends right now, right? We might be better as roommates right now. Whatever it is, you need to define what this new chapter of your life looks like, so you both know what's going on, and you're not every day guessing or being unhappy or walking on eggshells. That's no way to live. So I'd rather find out, like, I know I knew you for 30 years, but we just drifted apart.
And that could have happened.
It could happen to some people, but it's better to know. It's better to know than be in a relationship where you don't know where none of the passwords are and you can't do nothing, they die. So it's better to know at that point.
Totally
break, you know.
Luckily, we still had enough, common threads and similarities that we wanted to keep moving forward with it.
Okay.
And not say, you know what, this is too much work. This is too hard.
Right. And you're making the decision together, right? It's no one dictating what it's going to look like going forth or what they want. It's what we want and how can we do this? And can we do this? Can we make this work? And if we can't, listen, no hard feelings. I love you still, right? I love you to death.
I'm going to love you over there.
But yes, I'm gonna have to love you from afar because I need something different.
I'm gonna buy a red Corvette with a 1-seater, and I'm gonna say, "See you later."
It ain't gonna be no 1-seater. It's gonna be a red Corvette, and it's gonna be somebody next to you.
No. If I'm no, not
Doc. Know what?
No.
Know what? We're not even going there. Move on. Fast forward.
No. Not put that much work in again. No.
Hey, what you talking about? You ain't talking about putting in work.
Not even that kind of work, Daryl.
Okay. Nobody's
sitting in that car but me.
Hey, you be like, Doc, Doc gonna be like, hey, I saw you. Who's in the car with you?
No, I'm gonna beep and say, Doc, you want to go for a ride?
Yeah.
Ain't no room. That seat already full. Listen, okay, hey, whatever. I can't say anything.
That's another show. That's a different one.
It is. It's called The Show Where Women Lie.
I thought we had that one every week. Every week we go back to that one.
Every week. I think one thing too. I think I had where I guess the magic started dying because we started taking each other for granted.
Oh, yes.
We started taking each other for granted. I mean,
yes.
She cooks all the time, or he cooks all the time, and you don't say thank you anymore because they did it so much. It's like, oh, they cook. Like we cook every day. Why am I saying thank you? You know,
that is the best advice, Daryl. Yes.
You open my door all the time. Why am I saying thank you? You know, you give me flowers all the time. Why am I saying thank you?
The please and thank you.
Right. We get into these patterns sometimes where it becomes humdrum. It's just normal. Like when you just did it so much, it doesn't give me excitement. So I'm like, oh, I got flowers. Cool. Let me put this in the vase. You ain't gonna say thank you? Last bit of flowers you getting. You're getting the more. I bet you won't.
But you are.
It is so important. I mean, a lot of times people use the basic things like just being polite to your partner.
Polite.
Right.
The way you would talk to a stranger on the street if they held your door, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You stop doing those kinds of things. And yeah, when you start to feel like you're being taken for granted, the sparks.
That's it.
Think about it.
That's
when you leave the house, you just leave now.
Yes.
You may say bye. You might not. You don't turn around. You're like bye. And you see back.
And Daryl, sometimes we're unaware that we've stopped doing those things.
Right.
So
right.
then again, the honest conversation. I'm like, whoa, you didn't even say thanks, babe. Or he could say, you didn't say thanks. And I'm not offended. I'm like, I'm sorry.
If you say it with that high voice, we're gonna have our
argument. Okay, I forgot you don't like that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You didn't say thanks.
I'm like, well, you didn't say thank you the other day with the flowers.
But the point being is when you share honestly, they should be able to hear that and make changes for you.
So remember, they may not. So remember, even if you feel a certain way, the person may not. And we can't get upset sometimes if a person doesn't receive something the way we want to right then and there.
No, but the basics of being polite, you can receive that.
Yes.
There you go.
You can
receive
tell
me
that.
What I can do. There you go. Tell me what I can do, what I can't do. There you go. See, there you go. So you're saying he got to do it. No, what I'm saying is that
he doesn't have to.
If it's been a while where we haven't been doing it, we may have to talk to each other to continue to remind each other to do it.
Yes.
Well, that's not what you said. Okay.
Stop mincing my words down.
Okay? Right. Not what he said. We're gonna be in a lurch or lunch.
Alert. I'm gonna write
alert.
Basement cellar.
Yes. So I'm saying that just because you say something doesn't mean the person's gonna change immediately.
No, you're right. But
right?
you can hope that they
But what I'm saying is we don't want to get upset because they don't do something right away.
No.
Just because I say it don't mean they're going to respond immediately.
I agree.
Either way.
I agree with that too, but you at least want acknowledgement that they heard you.
Yes.
And that they're going to make an effort.
The effort is what I'm talking about.
If I don't feel I need to make an effort. See, again, remember, just because you say something don't mean I feel the same way.
Okay.
Very true.
Okay.
But
So
if this is something that if this is a part of our relationship that we used to have, and it's something I want to bring back, and I bring it to your attention.
I like the way you're saying that.
And you say, well, I don't feel that way. Now you're being closed off. Because this is not something new.
And or
used to say please and thank you to each other.
Wait. We may have grown in a different. I'm not saying please thank, but we may have grown. So something may be different now. I may feel different. You got to understand why that person may feel they don't need to change, because you don't have to change just because somebody wants you to, because it might be a reason why they don't, right? Because in the beginning we were doing things. You would come home every day and now you don't do it anymore. So if I want to go back to and you don't want to, can I be mad now because you ain't do what I don't need you to do?
No, I'm not saying we're gonna be mad at each other, but we have to talk about it. If you want
talk about
every time I come home, now I think that if you bring that to my attention, that is something I'm not doing anymore, I shouldn't get mad about that. I should acknowledge it and say, right, babe, I haven't been
Wait,
like I used to. So
it might be a reason.
What can we do about that?
You might be a reason. Like I got a cavity, I can't do it no more. I gotta understand.
My jaw's hurt.
I got this work done a year ago, and it ain't really. But I mean, what I'm saying is that we got to be able to talk about whatever it is and understand.
That's all I'm saying.
And understand that just because that person doesn't acquiesce to whatever you're saying, it's not a bad thing. As long as they have, I think if they have a reason that's reasonable, not just because I don't want to do it, that's not really. But if it's a reason that they may feel, like I said, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not the person. And we're not talking about please and thank you, because I mean, I think courtesy is courtesy. Yeah. But I think there's some things that somebody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, we're talking about in general things, okay?
Hey, Jaja, thanks for joining us. Thank you.
I'm just saying, whatever it is we're talking about, the discussion, someone may not always win. We'll use wins and loss. Someone may not always win, right? True. But just be able to have the discussion and try to find a middle ground if there is one. Sometimes there might not be one.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So at that point,
if I'm not doing something that you want me to do or expect me to do, and you bring it to my attention, I can respect that you bring it to my attention. And I think that we can talk about it.
And if it's something we agree on that's for the betterment of our relationship, we should both be willing. We should both be willing to try. I'll try like Dr. Anthony or whatever. And you'll try for not taking me for granted.
Taking you for granted.
It's a two-way street, Dal.
Didn't I say when I brought them flowers, you didn't say,
well, I don't like flowers, so you didn't buy me flowers.
See, there you go. So here we go. I bought you flowers.
But he knows I don't like flowers. He would never buy me flowers because I don't like flowers in that way.
Well, maybe he wanted to buy you some nice flowers. You can't even accept them with niceness.
But there goes the communication. Why let him waste time and money on something I don't like in that way? Buy me some shoes.
Don't worry about the thought of me thinking about you. And I said these are beautiful, and I want to match the beauty with you. That. But you're like, you brought flowers. See, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I'm talking about years of understanding.
No, you know I don't like flowers.
Early on, I accepted.
Because you buying me flowers shows me that you didn't hear me. You weren't listening.
There you go, Doc.
No, I may have heard you, but I may see some flowers that I think are beautiful, even though you don't like flowers.
What about what I'm asking?
Well, just because we do one thing that you don't want, you can't be gracious because out of all the things I do. Exactly. Women want to complain about the one thing that you do, not do that they like, but all the things you do, they ain't talking about that.
I gave you 4 other choices of things that I do like. It's not like you don't know what I like.
I like flowers, and I like having flowers.
Right. Bring flowers home for yourself.
Hey, fellas, this is why we have sideboards. This is it. See the reason why they come out. They can't even be grateful that you thought of it. So we just talked about being gracious. Like if someone stopped and I seen something or some flowers and I got them and like, I'm gonna give them to my.
I'm gonna say thank you
because I thought about you. No, you're not. I see your attitude with it. It stinks. Okay, it's terrible. So, no, independent. If someone gives you something, you should be thankful that you were thought of. It's the thought that counts.
Does it count the early years that I accepted flowers and they weren't like my thing, but I said thank you? That was so thoughtful, and I meant that.
Okay. Yes. No. I think anytime I give you a gift, that's what it should be. Right? It's a gift. I thought of you. I don't know how to say somebody gave me flowers. Like, baby, I think I'll give them to you because you put them in the house. Okay, thank you. You thought about me because I thought about you. Guess what? I didn't have to think about you.
I agree.
I didn't have to. I didn't think about you.
You got a little attitude in that face.
You know what I mean? I didn't have to think about you. I am trying to bring the spark back, okay? And I'm just thinking about
you. Well, then buy me what I like.
There you go. You know what I mean? You're right. Hey.
Bring me the shoes.
I'm going out tonight, babe. I'm going out tonight. Yeah, I'm going out tonight.
Bring me some flowers. I'm growing my own flowers.
I ordered some shoes. I'm going out tonight. I'll be back in a week.
So one thing I saw when I was looking at lists, how they have lists online. There's a list about how to bring the sparks back. So what do you guys think about this thing? Be their place of peace and comfort.
Oh, totally agree with that. Totally agree. Are we frozen?
Daryl is frozen.
Oh, okay. He was so busy laughing, it froze him out.
Uh-huh.
I love the beat, be the peace. I love that.
Hmm.
Because I think that's
Yeah.
something everybody needs.
Yes. Because if all you hear is nagging and complaints and criticism, then it is kind of hard to feel loved and sexy. We keep saying sexy, but it's hard to feel sexy.
That's not sexy, right?
It's not sexy.
I agree. And even, even in a joking way that Daryl says, bring your voice down. I try to be aware of how I'm speaking to my mate now.
Mm-hmm.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not perfect with it, but I do try to say, is that, that a little loud? Bring it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So, that's really talking about being able to check yourself, right?
Yes, self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, that takes time and that takes practice to get to that, but you have to keep reevaluating who you are and what you're doing, what you're putting out.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
We spend so much time pointing outward as opposed to all the other fingers pointing back at us.
You are so right, Doc. Turn that mirror around. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I talk about all the time with people. When he did such and such, or she did such and such. Well, what did you do?
What did you do? What part did you play?
What do you mean? What did I do?
What part did you play in that? Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think that, looking at yourself and what you bring to the relationship or what you brought into the relationship will help with bringing them sparks back sometimes.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
What else did they say on that list besides the peace? What else did you notice?
They talked about laughing together.
Good one. Good one. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
I think, just in general, people should laugh every day. At least
agree.
A little bit every day.
I totally best medicine.
If you can do it with your partner, even better.
And what's funny, over long term, again, longevity, we've learned to laugh at each other in a good way. Without an audience is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Without an audience, but amongst ourselves, we just start cracking up at what we do. Like, really? But that took time to get comfortable with that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And not get upset about things that are funny.
Yes, they're funny. They're funny. He cracks me up.
Yes. So, and one of the other things they talked about is, spending time together, doing things together, getting away, or they said get away, but I think just doing things together in general.
Yeah, and Doc, you're right, because oftentimes that will lead to people thinking about vacations. And that's fine. Vacations, I'm all for vacations. I love your vacation was great. I love vacations, but I think we have to get back to quality time together can be quality time anywhere.
That's right.
Anywhere.
That's right. That is right. In your own home. I was watching something. I don't remember what it was. And the couple was playing a card game together. I was like, do people still do that?
We did Uno. I just posted us doing Uno in the backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, because we love those things. We love them. And it's so basic. It's so basic.
Basic. Very basic.
But it's time spent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's playing games together. That's a way to create laughter and some light, some lightness.
Yes, we're talking about stuff other than the bills and other than, household things. Let's have some fun. I agree.
Yes,
we've gone back to that. We've gone back
that you lose oftentimes when real life hits.
You need to lighten it up a little bit.
Yes, for sure. And the last thing that they talked about was what was it? Spending time to yourself. I thought that was really cool that they put that there, because that's something I advocate, all the time, So when I saw that on the list, I was like, yes. And I know. You're me Mondays.
Yes, you need time within yourself. For me, I do anyway. To be my best self outward after that. Yes. I do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It is so important to be able to spend time with yourself.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like to sit and listen to their own voice.
Some people don't like themselves. That's the other piece we talk about.
That is
They
true.
really don't like themselves, so they don't want to be caught alone with them.
Yes, yes. And a lot of times when you're alone, and doing self-reflection, and if you don't like yourself, all that stuff comes up.
That's very true, Doc. Very true. Mm-hmm.
So you need that noise and that distraction of other people and other things.
I agree. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I thought that was pretty cool that they put that in there. You don't
that was
often see
interesting.
that
Yeah.
on lists of how to be better couples.
Yeah.
Spending time to yourself, but it's extremely important
Mm-hmm.
that you are able to be separate from your partner.
And hubby and I talk about that because sometimes we're so connected at the hip. We do a lot of things together. We always have. And I'm like, but we're not going to probably leave this earth at the same time. We need to also learn how to do our own things separately. We've had those conversations, even if it doesn't feel that comfortable to you initially. We have to practice that.
Right. It's true.
Do your own thing. So, yeah.
Very true. You should have your own hobbies, your own friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just shipped him back out. He retired. I said, it's time to go back and meet up with your old crew. So they're all meeting up next weekend.
Oh, good.
You need to go back and hang out with your folks.
Yes.
Yeah, but also supporting that and letting your mate know I'm good with that. Yeah.
That is an issue for some couples. They really feel like it's them against the rest of the world. So they don't spend time with other people and they don't do things outside of each other. Mm-hmm. It's not really healthy.
No, it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. And that's sometimes like we were talking about before when you get into that slight codependency thing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to keep it separate sometimes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, all right. It doesn't look like Daryl.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know what happened to him, but I don't know. Any last comments or words of wisdom from your years of being married and taking that journey with your husband of rekindling at times?
What I can say along with what we've already shared is keep reassessing. I mean, that is my main point. Don't assume, again, like we said, because something was okay for the first half, the first quarter of your lives together, that is still the same. Reassess, talk. That's half of the work is the talk.
That is.
When we first got together, we used to spend many a night staying up either on the phone or when we started living together, we still stay up, and talk 1, 2 in the morning if we have a good conversation going. So keep that going. That rekindles, that reminds you of those butterflies that you connected on. We didn't really get to talk much tonight about keeping other folks out of your relationship.
Yes.
And how your relationship shouldn't be compared to somebody else's. Okay, so we have these 30-some years in, but some people could have achieved that in half that time. Don't compare yourself to other people. Do what works for your relationship. Set your own goals with it.
I totally agree with that. I agree with that.
A couple of things I wanted to add.
Yes, good. I agree with that. And if you are, I would say that if you are in a relationship and you're at that juncture where you're saying, I'm not feeling it anymore, really do a check-in and make sure it's just not the idea of there's no more butterflies.
Yes.
And, so do a check-in and talk to your partner and find out if this can be saved.
Yes.
Really talk about what's going on. I know Daryl says that people don't have that ability. But
you made him come back in, Doc.
Yeah. Have that ability. They don't.
She brought you back in. Good.
But I would say, do a check-in before you just say, all right, it's over because I don't feel that anymore.
I totally agree. Maybe change the light bulb before you throw the whole lamp away.
Yes, I like that. Yes. Daryl.
Oh, we missed you. You have any final tidbits?
I have a bunch.
Oh no!
Oh, Lord.
I don't think there's enough time for all of that.
Hey, I have the same thing I say every week. Hey, you got to start talking early, honest and early.
Okay.
And I think that'll help the relationship go forth. So when you do hit those spots, you can say, hey, listen, I'm feeling a certain way, or I think this, or whatever the case may be, and the other person can receive it, and you can have a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll help out a lot of things. That'll help get you. I mean, conversation is going to get you to the next step anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
An honest conversation. Honest.
Mm-hmm.
Honest is the key.
Which ladies are capable of, Daryl, by the way.
Are they? They're the biggest liars out here.
We're capable.
No,
Yes,
you're not.
we are. We're capable.
Women are happy, and then they be not happy one day because they weren't happy the whole time. They lied.
No.
Yes.
If the tides change, they'll tell you why.
No, they won't. Women lie. They don't tell you why. Again, your friend, did your friend tell her man why that she complaining to you every day?
Some women, Daryl, you got to say some.
I speak to the majority. When I speak, I'm speaking to majority.
Really?
He always says that.
Majority?
Yes, he always
Yes.
says that. Okay.
Yes. Most
All right.
women are going to lie to men.
Well,
They
that
know
needs
that-
to change.
They
That
know,
needs-
our, they
Yes,
know
that needs to
they
change.
know
That needs to
egos- It does. They know the egos are fragile, so they won't tell the truth because they don't want to hurt their feelings or, emasculate them and things of that nature. But it wouldn't be if you start telling people the truth earlier. Then I can I can perceive it better.
Then that needs to change. I agree. Mhm.
It does. I think it does from the beginning.
Yep.
It does from the beginning because again, I think women, especially when they like a man, especially in the beginning, will do a lot of things that they probably wouldn't do. They may not like doing things, but they'll do it for him.
Mhm.
And then we'll be like, she likes it because she's doing it for me, but she don't really like it. So eventually you're gonna be like, I don't like that. You're like, what you talking about? You did it the whole time. You did it for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not doing that no more.
Right. Been there, done that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So and
Yeah, that honest conversation. You're right,
we
Daryl.
do. And I think men do the same thing. Like sometimes they'll do things in the beginning that are just for the beginning and they don't keep it up, and then they stop doing it and that becomes a problem. But I think we both just need to be honest with people. Like,
Yes.
I'm doing these flowers and stuff right now to get the gams. That's really it. After that, we got to figure it out. Okay, we got to figure it out.
He goes well for a while.
Right.
Right well. Then we go on the yam tangent, or we go on the side
I'm
door.
just saying. I didn't get your number because I thought you were really a great person. I want to keep you forever. I'm just saying.
No, that could be a possibility too.
You know what?
Doc, I'm done.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for everyone who commented. If you want to continue this conversation with us, please join us in the Facebook group Relationship Flow and continue the discussion. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover, please let us know in the group. If you want to be on the panel, please let us know in the group. And you can watch the replay in Relationship Flow, Dr. Carissa's page, and YouTube, Sip and Chat. Right, Daryl?
Yes.
Okay. There was another page on there on YouTube that I'm not familiar with.
Oh, the Wells Group.
Okay. All right.
That's my
The Wells
page.
Group. Oh, wonderful. The Wells Group. So check us out. And when you check out our YouTube pages, like and subscribe, folks.
Yes, we want you.
Yes. And
We're
we
gonna-
will see you guys. Go ahead.
We're going to have a call-in feature soon, too. So just get ready.
Oh,
Okay. Yes. And we want to let you guys know we are going to do a live show. So let us know if that's something you're interested in, because we want to know what the crowd could potentially look like.
We don't care
Right.
if it's interested or not. We're doing it regardless.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta let us know nothing. Just show up.
Okay. All right.
Just show up.
Come to see Daryl act out. Bring tomatoes.
woo, please. Woo, sounds good.
All right, guys. We will see you next Friday. Have a
Have a
great
good one.
weekend.
Bye.